Hello, my friends, and it seems to me that soon we may start getting used to the fact that we are losing settlements one by one. So I'd like to start right away with the Avdiivka direction. Unfortunately, if it was stated just yesterday that there were fights for the village of Severne and the occupiers were only entering it, today it's confirmed that the village is completely under Russian control. And battles have begun for the outskirts of Tannenke. So the advancement of the Russians amounted to 1 kilometer and 300 meters. This is in addition to the fact that yesterday they managed to advance 1 kilometer and 800 meters and fully capture Lastochkina. Moreover, all the territory in the fields has also come under their control, and now active battles are taking place not only in the area of Tannenke, but also towards Orlivka. Moreover, there, on the approaches to the settlements, battles are taking place from both sides, and from Stepove, the occupiers are trying to move towards Berdychi. Overall, the situation is extremely challenging, and yesterday evening statements began to appear that the occupiers had already broken through closer to these villages and started storming them. And as it appears, after capturing Avdiivka, the occupiers don't stop and the pace of advancement is quite significant. In fact, from the center of Avdiivka, the occupiers have already advanced approximately 7 kilometers, which is a very long distance. Previously, we said that the Russian army wasn't capable of moving so quickly, but unfortunately, due to the lack of weapons in the Ukrainian Armed Forces, this has become possible. And why this is happening, Butusov said. So his statement is simply shocking, and unfortunately, the enemy can use it against us.
The Ukrainian command did not prepare a deep line of defense, so after the loss of Avdiivka, the armed forces of Ukraine were unprotected from attacks by Russian drones, said Ukrainian journalist, former advisor to the Minister of Defense Yuri Butusov. Beyond Avdiivka, no field lines of fortifications have been built so far, he admitted. I saw our soldiers in burrows in the middle of the field being attacked by Russian drones. He complained that Kiev does not draw conclusions from previous failures. According to Butusov, the authorities are unable to ensure the creation of elementary rear lines of defense, cannot find engineers to maintain modern equipment, as well as find workers and technologists to produce ammunition. In this case, according to the Kiev propagandist, there will never be enough stormtroopers.
Friends, I'm not sure how to comment on this statement. Perhaps it doesn't reflect reality, but most likely, the General Staff will publish an official comment on this matter today. So, we are waiting for information. Our military has also already commented on this statement.
As for Butusov, sometimes the man says everything in fact, sometimes because he is very emotional, passes off his subjective opinion as reality. I liked his words about the conclusions not made by the command on the lines of defense.
Nevertheless, the occupiers continue their offensive actions towards Pervomaiske and Nevelske. However, they haven't achieved any success here as before. So, over the past day, the Russians conducted 15 attacks along the entire Avdiivka direction, and active fighting persists. In the Marinka area, there is also a very high level of activity. There were 23 attacks recorded here over the day. So, the main battles are taking place around Krasnohorivka, Grigorivka, Pobeda, and Novomykhailivka. The occupiers are attacking from two sides. So the situation there is extremely complex. Shelling continues along the entire front line in large quantities. Despite this, Ben Hodges, former commander of US Army Forces in Europe, is convinced that Russia has become much weaker.
I'm worried that there's too much negativism. I still hear people say, "Oh, there's no way Ukraine can win." You got to be kidding me! I mean, after 10 years, Russia had every advantage, and they still only occupy 18% of Ukraine, and their Navy sucks, their Air Force sucks, and they've lost 500,000 soldiers. I think that it's Russia, actually, is the one that's really weak on the inside.
Do you feel sometimes that the West needs to be frightened by the prospect of a Ukrainian defeat to actually take the right steps? You talk about missiles all the time, for example.
I think what we should be doing is focusing on why it's important for us, the United States, for the West, that Ukraine wins. Not out of fear, but out of opportunity. Here's a young democratic country fighting for its survival, but if Ukraine is successful, it will fix European security problem for decades. If Russia is defeated, we need to body slam Russia, and you are giving us a chance if we take it.
In the Vuhledar direction, the occupiers actively shell the villages near the front line, but no new offensive actions are reported and the front line remains unchanged. In the Zaporizhia direction, the Russians continue shelling along the entire front line. Complex battles are also underway for Robotyne. So the occupiers conducted 5 attacks in the past day, but they didn't achieve significant success, and the village remains under the control of the Ukrainian Armed Forces with no changes to the front line. Moreover, in the Guliai-Pilsk area, the occupiers also failed to advance, and all attacks there have ceased for today. In the Kherson direction, shelling of the right bank continues. There are no reports of new assaults in the area of Krinka, and all previous attempts by the Russians to push the Ukrainian Armed Forces out of the village have been unsuccessful, leaving the front line unchanged. Russian war correspondents also confirm that no assaults are currently being conducted.
Today, according to Teplinsky's Newspeak, the village of Krynky was not cleaned up. The enemy continues to make sorties beyond the boundaries of the settlement.
Also, the Ukrainian Armed Forces continue to destroy occupiers in the rear. Yesterday, there were reports of explosions in the Henichsk district, as well as in Sevastopol. So, at the time of creating this video, details are still pending. Additionally, a map of new railway lines built by the Russians has appeared. So, these lines are actively being constructed to provide them with the ability to transfer military equipment to Crimea in case of the loss of the Crimean Bridge. So overall, they understand that sooner or later the Ukrainian Armed Forces will destroy it. So they are preparing for any developments. In the Bakhmut direction, unfortunately, the advancement of the Russians closer to Ivanivsky has been confirmed. As previously reported, the fighting is essentially for the village. So the confirmed advancement here is about 1 kilometer. Additionally, Russian advancement through the fields between the villages has been confirmed. So a large number of shelling continues both along the front line and in the area of Chasiv Yar. The occupiers also continue attacks near Klishchiivka. However, there are no major changes along the front line yet, although the Ukrainian Armed Forces have stated that the Russians have tactical successes. In the Siversk direction, the occupiers continue shelling along the entire front line, but no new attacks are being conducted. and the situation remains unchanged for now. In the direction of Crimea, the occupiers continue attacks on Terni. They have already conducted 5 attacks within a day, but they haven't achieved success and the front line remains unchanged. In the area of Svatove, the occupiers shelled Berestove, but no new attacks are reported. Meanwhile, in the Kupiansk direction, as expected, there has been an increase in enemy activity. Within a day, they have already conducted 16 attacks. So the main battles are taking place in the areas of Senkivka, Tabaivka, and even Ivanivka. Shelling continues along the entire front line, and we are waiting to see how this new phase of offensive actions in this direction will unfold. And that's all from me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.